Welcome back. Well, you're watching Street Science, and the Nifty is up about 20 points, the Sensex up about 75 points, and the mid-cap index is doing rather well, up about 0.5%. The Bank Nifty also almost at flatline territory, but we have a corporate, I believe?
Yes, in fact, we have the Group CFO of Prime Focus, Mr. Vikas Rathee, joining in to talk about the earnings. It is a June quarter ending company, so let's talk about how they have done in terms of the numbers this time round. Hi Vikas, thanks very much for joining in. I was just glancing at your numbers and it seems as though there was an exceptional loss of around 159 crores which pulled down your entire bottom line. Can you just tell us what was it on account of, and what might we see as your full year bottom line for the fiscal?
Yeah, thank you for having me. You're right. I think the overall exceptional loss for this last fiscal year was about 250 odd crores. This is something we've spoken about before on your channel as well. We had divested our non-core operation in London called Prime Focus London PLC. We had taken a provision for this already in the standalone books as of the end of last fiscal year. And now with the divestiture of the company, it actually came and hit us on the consolidated financials. So that's kind of what's actually dragging down the results overall. Also, there is, as you know, over the last 12 months, we've been fairly acquisitive. We've added DAX in the US. We had a double negative in the UK, a smaller company in Canada is also the merger or the transaction with Reliance MediaWorks, where we acquired their film and media services business. So obviously there's a lot of that operations that came on, that they were restructuring charges of about 60 odd crores in relation to that. So that's 180 odd crores towards the divestiture of London PLC, and about 60 is on account of integration and redundancy charges. And we don't expect to see these obviously going forward. There'll be some in the way of integration charges through the course of this fiscal. But if you see the operating part of our results, we had we crossed 500 crores of revenues for the first time in our history, and we are working forward on our integration plan actually ahead of plan. So we expect to deliver strong results on the top line and the bottom line for fiscal year 2016.
Because hi, morning. So that's what your shareholders would want to know, because the feedback we get is that you almost every movie Prime Focus is involved in, but somehow that's not reflected on your financials so far ever since listing. Going forward, what kind of top line trajectory and what kind of EBITDA trajectory can the shareholders expect?
See, I think we've spoken in the past as well. We've been targeting EBITDA margins in the rate 20-22%, and I've been consistent on that for the last several quarters. That's what we expect for FY16. We already are actually very close to those numbers. We delivered about 21% of EBITDA margins. For the current quarter, they were slightly higher in the previous quarter. So actually on the EBITDA margin side, we're absolutely progressing well on our integration plan. Again, on the revenue side, we delivered, like I said, more than 500 crores for the quarter for the first time in history. I'm not saying we're going to do 500 crores every quarter, but I think that should give you a sense of what we expect for fiscal 16. I think you should see us deliver revenues in the 1,800 to 2,000 crores.
So what is a quarterly run rate of revenues that we might expect maybe in the foreseeable future in the next 1 to 2 quarters, based on the amount of projects or the number of projects that you're working on, what your deliverables would look like as well?
Yeah, see, there is some seasonality in the business, given the timing of Hollywood releases. You're absolutely right. We've been involved in almost every big budget movie you see, not only in India but overseas as well. From Mission Impossible to Terminator, Avengers, and there are a bunch of the new Bond that's going to come out, Jason Bourne movie that's going to come out, Huntsman, Alice. I think we frankly, have more orders in our pipeline than we've ever had. Even as separate companies, in the past. So I think, from a revenue trajectory perspective, we're very, very confident. We have a very strong order book, both on our creative business as well as technology business. So when I talk about 1,800 to 2,000 crores, I think that's kind of gives you a sense of what we are looking at. There'll be some quarters will be 5, 7, 10% down, and others which will be 5, 7, 10% up. Just like I said, from a seasonality perspective. But we are confident of delivering top line of more than 1,800 crores. With EBITDA margins of 20 to 22% for fiscal 16.
Okay, and do you have any more acquisitions plans apart from the ones that you have done, or is it going to be about consolidation for some time now?
See, I think, we've been, I think we have enough on our plate right now. The integration process, it's again not an easy task. We're obviously digesting all of this. We're very happy that the progress we made is pretty substantial already. Consolidation does continue in the industry. Just last week, Technicolor announced the acquisition of a UK company called The Mill, at pretty robust multiples, on both in the revenue and EBITDA perspective. So there is consolidation that's happening. The studios want to deal with players who can deliver a full bouquet of services, as opposed to trying to, kind of bifurcate it across too many people. So all that's obviously helping us. We have stayed ahead of the curve again. I think we have been leaders on the consolidation side. I think we have all that we need to basically already be recognized as one of the leading houses, globally on these services. So yeah, no real plans of any more acquisitions in the near term.
Okay. And how does your balance sheet look as well? Your finance costs were around 73 crores for the entire fiscal. And if you look at it year on year, or maybe even what you did in this quarter, it was around 25.5 odd crores. What does your balance sheet look like?
See, if you look at it, our revenues grew almost 80% from last fiscal to now last fiscal, 12 months to this current comparable 12 months. EBITDA jumped by about 45%. I think if you look at on a debt perspective, frankly, our debt was about 850, 900 crores. As of 12 months ago, it's only, it's gone up by about 100 odd crores, 150 crores. So I think we've been pretty judicious in terms of how we've gone and financed these transactions. We've leaned more towards equity and kind of have payment structures which are deferred in nature, so that there is a buy-in from the selling shareholders who are coming into our
Fair enough, but
well. So I think we're very focused on debt reduction, and hope to continue to reduce that.
So where does it stand at right now? Where does it stand?
It's about a little over 1,000 crores.
Okay.
It's a little over 1,000 crores.
Okay. All right. All right, we leave it on that note. Thanks very much for joining in and talking to us. So that is Prime Focus, talking about their numbers. It's been weak on the bottom line. Margins also didn't look too good this quarter. Prime Focus not that great in terms of volumes, but stock down around 0.7%. Time for a break, but we'll get to those trading strategies. FNOQs are lined up with Chandan Tapari of Anand Rathi Securities.
CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.